Sam Jennings made his way to San Francisco's docks through muddy streets teeming with people, horses, and every variety of wagon and carriage imaginable. The odors of food and sewage mingled in an unpleasant brew, with the food smells predominant near saloons, hotels, and restaurants, and the raw, acrid stench of human waste nearly overpowering from every alleyway. Smoke billowing from wood and coal fires thickened the air, making it difficult to see very far ahead. Despite all that, a sense of excitement permeated everything. San Francisco was a young city, boisterous and bustling. Everybody seemed to be in a rush, and Sam pulled magic about himself, hoping it would speed his journey. His horse, unused to crowds and traffic, shied whenever anyone or anything got too close, so he wound his power around the animal to create a buffer zone. Tom and Corey, two other Coven enforcers just like him, were also headed for the docks. They'd split up on the outskirts of town so they wouldn't draw undue attention to themselves. They had a job to do, and being waylaid by the local sheriff, who was sure to recognize them as trained killers, wouldn't help matters. Humans maintained a healthy distrust of nearly anything that smacked of magic. While the Coven had established a fragile détente with law enforcement back east, Sam suspected tolerance for his kind hadn't made it too far west of the Mississippi. "Now's not the time to test it," he muttered to the accompaniment of nickering from his horse, who seemed to agree. Sam glanced around. He'd been to the city when it was still called Yerba Buena, but it had grown by leaps and bounds since those days. Still, if he followed the scent of water, he was bound to find the bay. A group of threatened witches had gone to ground beneath one of the many warehouses lining the docks. As a Coven enforcer, part of his sworn duty was to protect witches. This group wasn't officially affiliated with the Coven, but they were close friends with Hester Thorne, a witch who'd been one of the original founding members hundreds of years ago. Hester had intercepted the witch's distress call back in Salt Lake, and Sam and the others had hastened to offer aid. They'd been on the road for many days, riding hard, only resting when their horses went into full rebellion. Every enforcer had a telepathic connection to every other enforcer, and Sam had reached out to others in the Brotherhood who were close enough to San Francisco to help the witches. 15 men were presumably on their way. He kicked himself for not checking on their location when he was at the edge of town. To do so now wasn't wise. Sending power spiraling outward would surely alert any dark sorcerers in the area, and he wanted to maintain the element of surprise as long as he could. He, Tom, and Corey had agreed to avoid mind speech until they met on the docks for just that reason, unless one of them ran into unexpected problems. The enforcers, riding to swell their ranks, could find them through the link they all shared. Because each of them went through the same training regimen, even enforcers who'd never met before meshed well in battle situations. The only problem was they wouldn't have an opportunity to craft a coordinated attack plan. It wasn't ideal, but it couldn't be helped. His bay stallion crested a hill, its hooves clanking loudly on cobblestone streets that took a definite downward slant on the far right side. Sam studied the horizon, taking in waves crashing on the shore. The brisk salt tang of the sea mixed with rotting fish stung his nose. Almost there. He tightened the shrouding around himself and hunted for the particular taint Black Magick held. Better to rid the area of dark sources before they drew the witches out of hiding. The women would be weak from their enforced seclusion. They could sink into a kind of stasis where their needs for food and water diminished greatly. Not surprisingly, that particular casting carried a hefty price. Witches had good recuperative skills, but it would take at least a day or two for them to bring their power back to a full charge. They'd need him and the other enforcers to protect them until they were up to snuff again. His horse shied violently, snapping his head upward and yanking him out of his thoughts. At first he didn't see anything, but then a pervasive chill moved in from all sides surrounding him. An opaque gray cloud rose from nowhere, cutting him off from the surrounding city. Shit. What would come at him out of the mist? Wraiths? Mad wolves? Other turned animals? Dark sorcerers? While he still could, he raised his mind voice and called for Tom and Corey. Amid whinnies and shrill neighs, the stallion crab-walked, stumbling on the uneven surface. Sam slid from his back, hands raised as he summoned power, focusing it with the opal that was his power stone. Multi-hued fire streamed through the gem, slicing through the gray and illuminating 2 men wearing badly tanned leathers. Both stank of black magic and its peculiar combination of sulfur, ozone, and brimstone.
"You killed our leader,"
one growled in thickly accented English.
"Your turn to die,"
the other grunted in the same guttural dialect.